Hello, dear DRTS viewers and followers. Welcome to your first show that is specially dedicated to education. Today, we have the honor and the pleasure to receive for this first show two big ladies to talk about the importance of English in the country and in all around the world. What are or what is the role that English play in the communication of the world. And the theme we are going to deal with today is the mastery of the English language, what strategies for students. We know in Senegal that most of our students, they do not consider or they do not give a very big respect to the English language. So today we are going to try to talk to our guests so that they clarify some points that are very important about the mastery of the English language. Uh, I am very pleased to welcome Mrs. Chongan. Mrs. Chongan, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for inviting me today.
Thanks a lot. And on my left, I have Mrs. Mbake. Mrs. Mbake, how are you?
Hello, I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot. Now, Mrs. Chongan is from the British Council.
Yes.
I want you tell us what is the role of the British Council here in Senegal?
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Tal. First of all, I'm going to introduce myself. I am Michelle Chongan and I work at the British Council. My role is the English Connects program manager. So, what is the role of the British Council? The British Council is a charity that helps promote the English language, but also diplomatic relations between the UK and other countries. So, at the British Council in Senegal has an office. Near Zone B. And over there, you can come and have classes in English for young children up to adults. We also have corporate English for companies. And we do have exams, the IELTS exam.
Okay.
People can come and pass the exam if they want the IELTS for visa purposes or for studying abroad or just, to know your own level. But apart from that, we also work a lot in promoting the English language. With the English Connects program, for example, it is a program that originated in Senegal in 2018, 2019. And the aim of the program is to help English teachers with their own professional development. So we have two websites, and on those websites, we have resources that can help teachers improve their English language. So those resources, they can be training courses, they can be articles, MOOC, they could be webinars that we have at least once a month. And we invite all the teachers to participate, and it's totally free. So I am the program manager for this program in Senegal, but I also help in Sub-Saharan Africa because now the program started in Senegal, but it's now worldwide.
Worldwide.
And I am in charge of Senegal, but I also help out with the Sub-Saharan Africa
That's,
countries. Yes,
that's
thank
very
you.
good. That's very good. Now, if I am a teacher and I want to come and join you, are there any formalities I must do, or I can just come to contact you?
No, there are no formalities. What you need to do is just to enroll on our website, which is Teaching English. Teaching English. If you go on Google, you can just write Teaching English, British Council, and you're gonna see the page. And the other website is Teaching English Africa, and this one is just for the African teachers because what we've noticed through the years when we started the program is that some of the articles or some of the training program were not adapted to the African context.
Context, yes.
So the second website is more for the English teachers and teacher educators in Africa. So over there, you're going to find articles and training courses that were curated by English teachers in Africa, even Senegalese teachers. They were part in that big project. So if you go to those websites, I repeat, it's Teaching English and Teaching English Africa. You can find all the resources you need. All you just need to do is to log in. You need to have a username and a password. But apart from that, everything else is free. You don't need to do anything.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes.
And you do not need to pay anything
No.
for the training also.
For the training, also everything is free. We're not gonna ask you for anything except for your information, because yes, we need to communicate with you through email or WhatsApp. Sometimes we do have WhatsApp groups with teachers from all over the world who can communicate between each other, share interesting tips, for example. So it's just that you don't need to pay a cent.
Anything. Okay. So
Thank you.
do you often organize some meetings with the teachers in the country?
Yes, we do organize often some get together with the teachers. We try to go as much as possible outside of Dakar because we've realized that it's very difficult for teachers outside of Dakar
Yes, of
to
course,
get
for sure, for
resources.
sure.
And we know internet is also a
Yes, it's
problem.
hard problem.
English Connects is purely online.
Okay.
Everything that we do is online. But
Online, yes.
since we know, internet
Yes, of
connectivity,
course, the problem of
it is a
internet here in
problem.
Senegal. Yes, of course,
So
for sure.
sometimes we try and go outside
Okay.
and meet as many teachers
No,
as possible,
okay.
and not only let them know about this program, but also have a workshop on a particular topic. It could be anything. It could be climate change. It could be how to motivate your learners.
Okay.
Because every year we have themes.
Okay, yes.
And based on those teams, we have training courses. It
Okay.
could be about technology.
Okay.
For
Especially
example.
technology.
Yes.
There are some teachers who are very bad at technology.
Oh, don't worry.
Yes, of course.
I'm not very good myself, but I'm learning.
For
So we
sure.
do have courses that will help them with some technologies, how to use Google Form, for example, how to use Zoom, how to make presentations, very basic skills.
Yes, of course.
So yes, we do have different topics, but we try and go offline
Oh, yes, of
and meet face to face with the
Yes.
teachers as
Sometimes to update some teachers.
well. Yes.
Yes, for sure.
Thank you.
Mrs. Mbake, how are you again?
Good, thank you.
Welcome to this set.
Thank you very
You
much
fine?
for having me. I'm good.
Mrs. Mbake from Toastmaster.
Yes.
Can you tell us about Toastmaster? I do not understand really, but can you tell us about that?
Okay. So I'm gonna present myself too. My name is Alvatul Make. I am a purchase and logistics professional, but I also serve as a vice president public relations for Toastmasters, Video Toastmasters in
Oh, for sure.
Senegal. So, Toastmasters is a global organization aimed to help people grow in terms of communication, public speaking, and leadership. It's been present internationally for over 100 years now, and it's present in like more than 150 countries overall. So here in Senegal, we have two English clubs. We have Bideo Toastmasters Club and Jamba. So in these two, it's really to help people get more confident and reach their English proficiency and just improve their level of English, their public speaking, and their leadership skills. There's a lot of opportunity to network because there's a lot of professionals there. And I witnessed firsthand, first as a member, but also as a role taker, the power that Toastmaster gives each people. You get so much more confidence.
Yeah, of
They
course.
teach you so much in terms of speaking, how to speak, what not to do, what to do in really a positive environment.
Okay.
And it's really important.
Very good. Toastmaster is very good.
Yes.
So
very.
now, if I want to come to join you in the group of Toastmaster,
Yeah.
what will I do?
It's very easy. So we have LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. You can just search over there and you will find the number of the vice president membership. And you can get invited. If you know someone like me, for example, I can invite you in a session. You can come, you attend, you get a
For
feel.
sure, if you invite me, I will come.
invite
For
you.
sure, of course. Mrs. Changal also, I
I
think that she will
invite
come.
both
Yeah.
of you.
Yeah, for
We
sure.
have a session every Saturday, so to the two clubs. And so when you come in as a guest, you come for free and you get a feel of the environment. If you like it, how the session goes, and you really are able to witness how a meeting goes. It starts at 9, it ends at 9 12:30, and we are really keen in timing. So time management is something that we take very seriously. And so if you're interested, if you went once and two times, you can take the choice to,
Yes.
okay, I'm gonna be a member.
Okay.
And it's very affordable, and I feel it's a steal actually,
of course.
because if you go to a school that teaches public speaking, and if you go to a communication course, for example, what you will pay here at Toastmaster will be much more cheaper, and you get a lot because it's practical and fun,
Okay.
really.
Now, if I want to come
Yes.
for the first time,
Yeah.
it is, for example, from you. You invite me,
Yes,
for
I
example.
invite you.
But if I want to become a member, I have to pay.
Yes, you have to register just like a gym
Yes.
membership.
Okay. Right.
You register like the registration fee and the first month, and then each month after the month you pay the mensuality.
Okay. Okay.
Very
Okay.
affordable.
Very interesting also.
Yes.
Very interesting. Don't worry. I will invite Mrs. Jongan. We are going to
Please,
come
please.
together.
Please,
For sure.
please.
For
I
sure. That's
invite both of
interesting.
you.
Now, have you already noticed that there are some people who have already been trained, and at the end, you see that they have left one point and they arrived in another point that is very profitable for them.
Yeah, if I witness that,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna talk about myself. Like
Yeah.
I registered not even 4 months ago, like 5 months ago, I became a member.
Yeah.
And when I see the growth I've experienced, the level of confidence, if I'm able to sit here today, it's because of Toastmasters.
How
Yes.
wonderful.
The amount of networking I have, contacts, the amount of confidence, because they teach you all of this, like the filling words, how not to use that, the how to use your body language, how to use your voice, your pace, your tone. It's all a part of the journey, so it's very very profitable.
Yeah,
Yes.
of course, for
And
sure.
especially the confidence
Yes, the confidence.
and the
Because it
social
is not given
skills.
to everyone
No, I
to
was
speak in
very
people.
shy.
It's not given
It's
to
not
everyone.
easy.
It's not easy. Even if you are a teacher, I often say that if even
Yeah.
if you are a teacher, you can have class in front of 100 students. There is no problem. But whenever you have to take the floor in front of people that is different from the class,
Exactly.
you will see that is very different.
Exactly.
Mrs. Chongan,
Yes.
very
It
different.
is.
That is
It
not the
is.
same.
It's not. It's not like talking like what we are doing now. It's really. It's more. It's more than that. You have to connect with your audience. You have to know how to engage them. It's and it's everything. They teach you all of this.
To transfer the feeling to them.
Exactly. How to
Exactly.
inspire. How
Yes,
to
of course,
motivate.
of course.
How,
Because
yeah.
you yourself, you are speaking, you are talking to people. If you don't feel what you are saying in your heart,
Thank you.
people also won't feel it.
Exactly.
That is sure.
Exactly.
That is sure. That is sure.
That's the thing.
Yes, yes.
That's the thing.
Now I come back to Mrs. Chongan.
Yes.
So now coming especially to the English language. What can you tell us about the important role that the English language play in all around the world? I don't say only in Senegal, but in all around the world, because there are people who travel, who go everywhere, and at any time they tell you wherever they can go, the only language that can solve their problem is English. So you are working with British Council. You have many big responsibilities there. So how can you tell us about that, about the importance of the English language?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Todd. English is a very important language. True, we have several languages around the world, and several people who are speaking it. In Senegal, people speak several local languages. We also speak French. However, yes, when you go outside of the border, English. I'm just starting with Gambia, who is next door.
Okay.
Yes, we can communicate with them in Wolof and other local languages, but they speak English.
English, yes.
If you go other countries also, if people cannot speak, for example, I meet somebody who's from Spain, I cannot speak Spanish and he cannot speak French.
Yes,
what are
of
we
course.
going to use?
Yes,
English.
English, yes.
So it's a language of communication. And it's also the language of science. Fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know.
Yes, of course, for
but
sure.
it is
For sure.
the language of
It is-
science.
yes, for sure, for
so that is something that I think if an individual wants to grow and go far and succeed in life, they need to master that language. I'm just going to give you a basic example. In Senegal, the British Council works in the arts. We help creatives in several domain, which is sometimes it's filmmaking, sometimes it's fashion. We give them grants so they can have a program, either it's training or just to be able to present a film. But however, every year we have the program, we do a call for application, but we don't have people
Yes.
applying.
Okay.
And the main problem is because they don't speak English.
Yes.
But if you go to countries like Ghana,
Mhm.
Nigeria, it's easy for them
Okay.
because they already speak the
Yes,
language,
of
or at
course.
least they have some basic training
Yes, of
that
course.
can help them. But here
To
we
it.
really have to push
Yes.
through, and sometimes we even go and help the creatives with some English language classes. Not all of them, but sometimes we
Yes,
do,
sometimes, yes.
because we want them to have these opportunities. They are very talented, and we want them to be able to go all over the world and to showcase their talent. But the English language is a problem.
Is a problem. Yes. for
So
sure.
just for that, you're a fashion designer, you want to succeed
Yes.
outside of Senegal,
Senegal.
you will need English.
English for sure.
Because your buyers are not going to be only in
Yes.
Senegal. They can be in the United
Yes.
States, they can be in India, they could be even in France.
In China, in France, yes, of course.
You will need to communicate in
English.
unless you speak Chinese, but you will still need to communicate in English.
Okay.
So just for that, I think it's very important that the younger generation, even the older ones, but starting, because we're talking about education, starting with the younger generation, I think it's important that they learn English and that they master it so they are able to communicate in the future. Yes.
So the problem of, or if I can say, if someone does not master the language, it means that he or she has an obstacle in front of him.
Yes, it's a big barrier because there are things you want to achieve, but you won't be able to.
For sure.
Even just going international conferences,
Yes.
you have translators, but sometimes when you meet with somebody
Yes,
outside
directly.
of the conference, you have to
Directly.
speak
Yes,
with
directly.
them,
For sure.
and you need to master some
Some
at least basic
elements.
level
Yes,
of
for
English
sure. Yes.
to be able to interact with those people.
Directly.
You know,
Yes.
I know our presidents sometimes they always come with a translator, but even your translator went to school and,
Yes.
and learned English.
Yes, of course, for sure.
So you have to have a certain
Yes,
level
yes,
of
certain
English,
level.
I think.
At least. a
Yes,
certain
at
level.
least,
At
yes.
least. At least. The minimum possible.
Yes,
Yes, for
basic
sure.
skills.
So that if you want to be free wherever you go,
Exactly.
you have to to master the minimum possible in English.
Exactly.
This is not only my idea, not only yours, but the ideas of many people who often travel in all around the world.
Yes,
For sure.
even traveling.
Yes.
They say in Wolof ko am gemeñ du réer, but some countries you will need to speak English
For sure, for
not
sure,
to get
for sure,
lost.
for sure.
You will have to have just to say, hey, where is the next station
Yes,
located?
for
If you
for
cannot
sure.
say that in English, you might have some issues. So, yeah.
Some problems. And for an example that I'm going to give you, there is someone who is at Sandaga Market. I was teaching him English, and he told me for his first travel, whenever he get on the plane, he couldn't even say what she wanted to eat.
Oh, I
That was a
see.
problem for him.
Yeah.
And he told me, Mr. Tal, I was next to someone. And when the girl came next to me and asked me, man, what do you want to eat? I didn't understand anything. But the one who was next to me ordered chicken. I did not even know what does chicken mean. And I wait. I tell to the girl, next. And after when the girl came back, she brought chicken. And whenever he looks at the chicken, he recognized chicken. And after she tell to the girl, chicken.
Okay.
And after he told me, for all my travel, going and coming back, I ordered chicken. Okay, very sorry.
That's easier.
Okay, that's the solution for him.
Yes.
The only solution he has.
For sure.
It was difficult for him.
Yeah.
Mrs. Make, what can you tell us about the importance of English, or what is the role of English in the communication of the world?
Yeah, like I feel it's no secret that English is the most widely spoken language. It's spoken so it's not a language anymore. It's really like a global connector. So English is very important. It's important first of all because English is a business language, like we touched just now. Like how many people in Senegal missed on opportunities to have to partner with investors and businesses because they couldn't speak English. Also, if as a job seeker, most of the multinational companies are primarily working in English.
For sure.
And so you are missing out on jobs that are very high paying and because you don't speak the
Speak
language.
English.
And it's very, very unfortunate. For example, in my daily life, people always tell me like, yeah, you should try to work with like NGOs, etc., etc. And I'm like, yeah, but talk for yourself. Why don't you work for
Yes, for
NGOs
sure.
too? And they're like, I can't. I don't speak English. And it's so like, and it's so sad because that's the reality of it.
Yes, for sure.
Beside that, even in terms of academia, all the articles in science and economy and technology are published in English. So you're missing out on being the first informed by waiting for translations to know about what's going on in the world because you don't speak the language. So we are missing out in so many things, even in internet, like 55% of online content is in English.
For sure.
And so you are missing out on so many informations available out there because you are limited in one language
Only.
only.
Oh, okay.
So it's very something that we should take
So
into
it means that
consideration.
without English you can't move
Yeah.
forward.
We can
for sure.
move, but very slowly. Like you're,
can move
you're like
forward.
in a small bubble, and like you
Because
know.
if you stay inside your country,
Yeah.
the world is beyond that.
Exactly.
It is beyond that.
Yeah.
People
yeah.
have to connect internationally.
Exactly.
Not only inside the country
Exactly.
where you are, but here, whenever you are Senegalese, you need to work
Yeah.
with Chinese, you
Yeah.
need to work with Japanese,
Yeah.
Americans,
exactly.
Spanish, so on and so far.
Yes.
And the only language that allows the connection between these
Yes.
nationalities is English, I think.
It's English.
For
We are
sure.
missing out in even social interaction.
Yes.
Like for the Gamu, we had an American guest, and no one could talk with her,
Oh.
but I was able to because and she was so interesting.
Yes, of course.
Yes, and I met so many interesting people because I was able to interact with them. So it's really unfortunate.
You were his or her solution?
Yes.
For
yes.
sure. If not,
She was
he
with
wouldn't.
me
Oh,
all
yeah,
the
for
time.
sure. All the time. Because you were the solution.
Yeah.
Okay, now I come back to Mrs. Chongan. Mrs. Chongan,
Yes.
now we are going to go to school now.
Okay.
At school, uh, maybe even if you're not there,
Yes.
me, I am there. But what I noticed there, we are going to notice it together. It is a lack of motivation for the students. All the effort that the teachers are doing, if you look at the results of the students, you may think that teachers are not doing or are not making efforts. This is the result of the lack of motivation that students have been showing for more than maybe for many years. This is a problem.
Yes.
This is a problem because very often students consider English as a simple school subject. They try to get a good mark, and for them, after that, that's over.
Yes.
So, according to you, what do you think that? What do you think as the basis of this lack of motivation? The departure of this lack of motivation.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Tal. As you said, I haven't been in school in a while, especially primary and secondary school. So I'm not really aware of the current climate of the school.
Okay.
But I do talk, I do discuss a lot with teachers, English teachers, through my work. And yes, they always come and say the students are not motivated. Some of them are not interested in the language, or they're just doing the bare minimum. And for that, I think we have a couple of solutions. I think, and this is my personal opinion, I think the way we are teaching English is a bit outdated.
Yes.
I think we need to stress more on the speaking aspect rather than concentrating on grammar and vocabulary. Yes, they are very important, but English is a language. It's meant to be spoken. It's not meant to be written only, or, you know. I'd rather have a student speak with me even if his grammar is not good,
Not good.
than a student who can write a perfect,
Text.
presentation, but is not able to speak.
To speak.
Because at the end of the day, we will have to speak. You
That
will
is what
have
I
to
say
speak.
often at school.
Yes.
English is a language.
Yes.
Whenever you learn it, at the end of the day, the aim is to speak it.
Yes, it's not Latin. It's not a dead language.
Yes,
It
for
is
sure.
a spoken language.
Yes, a
So
spoken language.
at the end of the day, we need to change the way we are teaching it. Maybe do 50-50, speaking 50% and then 50% grammar and vocabulary. But it needs to be spoken. The students need to hear it and also be able to reproduce it and speak it out loud.
For sure.
I think that's the first thing. And the second thing is nowadays, the kids, they are technology savvy. Most of them have a computer, okay? Some even have a mobile. And they are on so many apps. Even myself, I see my children, they are on some apps. Some of them I understand,
You
some
do not-
others I
you
have
do
no
not
idea.
understand anything.
Yes, I don't know
Nothing
what
on
it
that.
is. As a teacher, if you cannot catch up to that, it's going to be very hard because whatever you're going to teach them, they might find out by
Yes,
themselves.
for sure.
So, what's the point of listening to a teacher? I think the teacher needs to find tools to, bring the children's interest forward and bring the children to him. Not just push them away, but bring them to him and say, I don't know. I'm not going to say use TikTok, Snapchat, and all that because I know at school there is a ban on using how do you call this, cell phone sometimes.
Okay.
Kids are not allowed to have cell phone inside the
Yes,
classroom.
of course, it's not
Yes,
possible.
but there are other ways you can teach.
Yes.
You can use your own tablet as a
Yes.
teacher and use a projector, put it on the
Oh,
on the
on the
wall
wall,
for
on the
all
wall.
the students to see. There are so many ways. Like if you are creative, you can find solutions to those
Solution for that,
problems.
yes.
And even this year, I think at the British Council, English Connect had a course called Motivated Learners that was dedicated just for that. So you, as a teacher, you could take that course and it would give you tips on how to help your
How to
your
help,
students. And it's not only about technology; it's everything.
Everything.
It could be changing the way you speak to
Yes,
them.
for sure.
It could be, trying to divide the classroom
classroom.
into small groups, giving them a different type of activities just to make them happy. It could be giving them, stickers when they do a good job.
Yes, of course.
Something
For sure.
very,
Yes,
yeah,
for sure. That is good.
yeah. It
Because-
has to be interactive.
yes,
Not
interactive.
only teacher saying this, this.
Take
write
the
this,
lesson
that.
copy
No.
books,
Fa-
go
thank you.
to another
Yes.
line,
Yes.
write example number one,
No,
so
it
that
has
so
to
far.
be interactive. You can
Yes.
even put a song and say, okay, let's discuss this song.
Okay.
Let's translate this song.
As we used to do when we
Yes.
were at the university.
Exactly.
The teachers at the university, they used to do that when we were there.
Yeah, kids love songs.
Yes,
especially
for sure.
nowadays.
Yes, for sure.
And actually, it's a great way to learn because with songs, sometimes you have slang, and we're not being taught slang
Yes,
in
for
the
sure,
classroom,
for
you
sure.
know. And that is a problem because sometimes the English you've been taught is very good, but when you go outside, it's not the English that is
No,
spoken.
no.
So
This is not the good one.
yeah, you have those cinema.
Yes,
a
for
movie.
sure. Yes.
Kids love movies.
Yes, they love
You can
it.
watch them, teach them. If you're afraid of, certain scenes that might be disturbing, you can you can show them a Disney movie.
Yes.
You know, it doesn't have any really scary thing
Okay.
or inappropriate thing.
Yes.
So, but they are learning.
Yes,
They're learning
for
the
sure.
English while having fun.
Fun,
I think
yes.
that's what we're missing.
Okay.
The fun part.
Yes, fun part. Yes,
Yes.
fun part. Because there are some teachers, whenever they come into a classroom, they feel like a policeman.
Yes, I
sorry,
know.
they look like a policeman.
Yes.
And very often there is a problem also. The relations between the teachers and the students also. This also can affect the way they work.
Yes. No, I
Because
think with the teachers, they're a bit afraid that the students might disrespect them if they're
Yes.
too friendly, which can happen.
yes,
But
of course.
even if you're a teacher, you can be friendly with the child and still have boundaries.
Yes.
Healthy
The-
boundaries.
and
You have
those
to draw
boundaries, they're
the
not gonna
boundaries.
cross
Yes, for
them.
sure. For
Yes.
sure. You can laugh with them, but not
Exactly.
excessively. You can be friend with them.
Yes.
But inside only the class, whenever they are working,
Yeah.
for those who are not working, you try to look for means of motivation so that they can be interested in what you are doing.
Exactly.
For
yes.
sure.
Yes.
Now, Mrs. Mbake,
Yes.
the same question to you. the lack of motivation, sorry, at school. What do you think that is the problem, and what can you tell us as a suggested solution, as Mrs. Chongam said a moment ago?
Yeah. So I think that I'm gonna be the student advocate today.
Not this. I am
I'm
the
going to be
student.
the student
I am the
advocate.
student. I am.
So yeah, I feel like students are not unmotivated. Students follow trends. They love American trends. They are on social media. They follow pop culture. They are on social media. They love the English language. They want to know the language. What I feel is that although it's great, the foundation of English that we teach in school is great, because we all need to know grammar, like
Vocabulary,
phonetics, vocabulary. It's
phonetics.
the basic of a language. You have to know that.
Yes, for that.
However, we need to ask ourselves, why do students that learn the language in high school often end up not being fluent in the language?
Okay.
And it's because there is a big gap between what they are taught in school. Like in school we teach us to write and to read, but we don't teach us how to speak and how to listen.
Yes, for sure.
And that's what fluency is about. We need to be able to communicate. We need to be able to listen. And that's what students lack, but they want that. But like you said earlier, it's how school, the education system, how it is taught, it's obsolete. We have to be more creative
Yes.
in our approach to teach a language. It has to be practical. And for example, in Toastmaster, that's what it is. You speak the language. You go in front of people and they tell you, okay, deliver a speech. You have to use the language in order to be able to speak it. Even if it's wrong, even if you do mistakes, it's by speaking every single day that you will be able to make it.
Perfect
So
yourself.
it's by being creative. People have to relate to what they're learning at school.
Yes, for
but
sure.
most of the time, the textbook are about a random village in the UK. A Senegalese student will not relate to that.
Yes,
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
true.
They will
for
not
sure.
understand it.
Nothing on that.
Exactly. So what about we should be able, the teachers should be able
To adapt.
those textbook content and translate it in the reality of Senegal.
For sure.
Like, I don't know, a conversation about a bargain in Sandaga in English, a conversation about someone that is desperate to travel because he's suffering in his country in English. So people can relate to it. People can understand the vocabulary around it and be able to use it in his daily life. And it's true because the language you hear on the CD-ROM, for example, on the lectures, on textbook, is not the same as the real pace, the real tone of a native speaker.
That is not the same.
It's not the same. When you go on YouTube, it's not the same.
It's not the same.
Completely different.
I know something what you are saying.
Exactly.
I know.
So,
in my classrooms,
yeah.
sorry for cutting
Yeah,
you.
no.
In my classrooms, I often have some students.
Yeah.
Whenever they speak English, oh my goodness, you are very happy because they have the tongue, they
Exactly.
pronounce the words, they
Yes.
they express themselves as
Yes.
if they were native
Thank
English.
you.
Very
Yeah,
good.
you surround yourself in the language. You consume music in English, you consume videos in English, and it's easy now because of social media. On Twitter, all the thing on X, sorry, everything I watch is in English.
Yep, for sure.
On Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, you have to surround yourself with the language, and you will be able to pick up on the language. You have to talk to yourself. If you're not talking to someone, talk to yourself
To
in
yourself,
English.
yes.
Exactly.
That
We
is
have
possible.
to speak, and it's easily transferable in the school.
Yes,
You just need a bit more creativity and a bit more time. We should not be lazy with the way we teach English. We have to use technology. There's so many support. There are so many resources out there. We need to use AI now. We need to associate modernity and how we are teaching. And it's easy. We just
easy.
need to put the effort in it. Yeah.
Because as she said a moment ago,
Exactly.
the aim at the end of the day is to be able to speak it.
Exactly. That's it.
All the means are good.
Yeah.
If at the end of the day, you will be able to speak it.
Yeah,
If
that's
you
it.
use videos, whatever you want,
Yeah.
so that students can understand what you are
Yeah,
saying, or
create
can be.
debates, give them subject, like tell them, okay, you're free to choose any subject you want and come to present it. You can do theaters. The important is to for it to be fun and to create a loving and supportive place,
For sure.
so
That's
no
interesting.
one will mock anyone and they will be free to make mistakes. That's it.
Why did I ask this question? We all can recognize that before kids discover English, when they are in primary school and they do not do English, they are eager to discover.
Yeah.
But after discovering, just 2 years, 3 years after, it is not the same feeling they had in the
Yeah.
past. That is the reason why I asked you the question. Thank you for your answers. You both touched it, and I would say even answered the coming question. It was
I think
about
so too.
technologies. You were very intelligent, ladies. Thank you very much for that. So I'll omit this question and I ask you. So now, if I ask you the question first to you.
Okay.
If I tell you to give advice or advices, if you want, to people, not only to students who are at school, but to people in general, so that they can make effort to master the language. What would be your advice or your advices you're going to
Okay.
give to people so that they can make efforts to master the language?
Yeah, I feel like I said it earlier, you have to immerse yourself in the language. You can be in Senegal and be abroad. You don't need to physically travel anymore. You just need your phone, Wi-Fi, and you're good to go.
Okay.
You need to change your phone setting to English. Everything that you like. Don't follow French influencer, for example. Follow English influencers. Consume all your content in English, and then don't be afraid to speak. As I said earlier, I used to talk to myself a lot. Like
Yes,
when
for
I
sure.
would walk to go home.
too.
Yeah, I used to put my earphones on, and I would pretend I'm on a call.
Yes, for sure.
But I would talk to myself
To register
in
your voice, and
English.
after you listen to it,
Exactly.
yes, that is
Yes,
important.
you have to do that. And then, you have to be able to, it's a plus to get people that also speak language. Because what helped me is what I was in a very great school, Yavuz Selim Sultan.
Yeah, we said it. Yes, I
And
know.
I feel like we should really reopen that school, by the way. I was pointed out here. But it allowed me to have friendship.
I will tell to the technician to cut that. Yeah,
I'm
this is
making things,
advertisement.
but actually, no, but I'm serious because my long-lasting friends were there in that
Okay,
school,
okay.
and we all spoke English over there, and it followed me because those are my friends until now, and I used to speak with them in English, and that's how we all spoke English together.
Okay,
We
okay.
all have the accent, and everyone thinks that we grew up abroad when most of them were here in Senegal, and they have the accent, they have the fluency, and so
sure.
surround yourself with the language, immerse yourself in the language, and talk to yourself.
Thank you very much. Good advices. Now,
Yeah.
the same question to Mrs. Chongan. Mrs., what are the
Um,
advices that you're going to give us?
Well, yeah, I'm going to just give advice based on my experience. I
Okay.
think it is very important to speak the language, to immerse yourself in the language, yes. But I also think it's very important also to read. I don't think that children nowadays read a lot, especially in another language.
Yes, for sure.
Me, I remember at 15, I read my first book in English. I was on holiday, and my aunt, who lives in the Gambia, she had a book in English,
Okay.
and it looked very interesting,
Interesting,
because I
okay.
saw her reading
Yes.
it, and I was
Yeah.
like,
You were
okay,
too
I
young.
want to. Yeah, I was very young, but. And I was scared. I was like, oh, this is a huge book. I don't think I can read everything and understand. And she was like, just try. If there are words you don't understand, there's a
Yeah.
dictionary.
Mm-hmm.
And I am here.
Yeah.
And I started reading it. And I'm telling you, I didn't even ask her for things.
Oh my God.
I was really shocked, actually, because it was easier than I thought.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really, really easier, because we do have the skills.
Mm-hmm.
You know, teachers, they teach us right. So if it's grammar, sentences, and everything, we do have it.
Yeah.
And what we what people don't know about reading is that when you read, you're developing a new skill. You're learning new words. Like
For
if there's
sure.
a word you don't understand, you go to the dictionary, you know what it means.
For sure.
And then try and use it in a sentence in your daily life.
Ah, okay.
Even it's a big word,
Yes, of
you
course.
still use it.
Yes.
Sure.
So you start by reading and then you speak.
Yes.
Like I said, me, I
Yeah.
was lucky. Part of my family is in the Gambia.
Okay.
So whenever I would go there on holiday, I would speak with
Yeah,
them.
of course.
And it helps me.
Yes.
But it doesn't stop there. You don't need to have people, you don't need to travel to
Yeah.
the Gambia, for example. You can have friends on social media
Immediate.
from another country
Yeah.
that you try and talk with. I remember one of my closest friend wanted to learn English learn French, for example,
Okay.
and I wanted to learn English. So what we do is we meet once a week online, and we take 30 minutes we speak in English, 30 minutes we speak in French.
Yeah.
So it's those little things that helps us, and I think English clubs also are great.
Yes, English club.
English
Yeah.
clubs are
Yes.
great.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
They
go,
are very
you
great
meet.
environments.
Yes, me, I was in an English club, and every week it was, I think, Wednesday afternoon.
Yes, of
We
course.
would meet, sit down, and discuss.
Okay.
There was not even a teacher on site.
Yes.
It was just us,
Yeah.
and we'd be like, okay, today we're gonna translate Mariah Carey's song.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
That wasn't.
We just
Yes, you
Yeah.
try.
just for fun.
Yes, for
Yeah,
fun.
Just
yes.
for pure fun, and then we'll be like, okay, we're gonna sing it then.
Okay.
At the end of the hour, we're gonna learn it. We're gonna sing it.
And you sang
So,
together.
Yeah, and we sang together. We're not, perfect
Yes,
singers,
perfectly.
obviously.
Yeah.
But just,
Just
the
the
word.
fact of repeating the words, it helps us also with the pronunciation, because there are
Okay.
some words you
Yeah,
don't hear it every
For
time,
sure.
Yeah.
So just those little things. You don't need money for that.
No.
You don't need huge resources. You can find books in English anywhere in
anywhere,
this country.
anywhere.
Par terre, comme on dit,
Yes, of course, for sure.
Yeah.
thrifted books. You can find at the libraries. You can find.
Yes, for
So even at the British Council, we have a huge library
Oh, wonderful.
that is free. You can come
Really?
and rent a book and then go. We have books from stories to books on science and things like that. So
Okay.
you can just go there and
rent.
read. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
just easy steps.
Easy steps, yes.
Yeah, but I
Step
think the
by
most important step is not to be afraid to speak.
Afraid.
Yeah.
Especially.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not to be
yeah.
afraid.
I know public speaking is hard.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's
You're
not
always
easy.
afraid people
Yes.
are gonna make fun of you, especially
Yeah.
the kids.
Yes,
They can
of
be
course, for sure.
ruthless sometimes.
Yeah.
But just don't mind,
Don't mind.
as they say. Don't mind.
Don't mind.
Just try.
And don't be
And
afraid
yeah.
making mistakes.
And
Yeah,
it takes
exactly.
time.
Oh,
It's
yes.
not something that is going to happen
yes,
overnight. I didn't become fluent in a day. I am gonna tell you, my English was okay, but my first day at British Council, because at the British Council we speak English
Okay.
90% of the time.
Okay.
My first time
Okay.
at the British Council, my head was
Spinning.
spinning
Okay.
because I was
Okay.
like, this is English, British English. I don't know this. I don't
Okay.
know this.
Right.
After a while, it was okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. I think that we arrived at the end of the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming here to exchange with us. So, Mrs. Chongan, what is your last word?
Well, come to the British Council.
Anyway, we'll come anyway, for sure.
I'm going to promote the British
Yeah.
Council. Like I said, we do have classes
Okay.
available. We also have the IELTS exam available. We have wonderful staff there who are ready to help you. And if you are an English teacher, come and join the English Connects program with the Teaching English websites, Teaching English Africa. You will find a plethora of resources for free. And that's my last word. And thank you for having me. It was
Thank
really
you.
nice.
Thank you.
And thank you.
Thank
I
you.
would love to know more about Toastmaster.
Yes, of
especially
course,
for my
for
children.
sure.
For sure.
We'll go
Public
together there
speaking,
one day.
yes.
We'll go
Yeah,
together
for
one day,
sure.
inshallah.
Thank you so
inshallah.
much.
It was a
Sure.
pleasure. So, Mrs. Mbake,
Yeah.
sorry, what is your last word?
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was a great honor and an even greater pleasure. I am just very happy to be here. Yeah, English language is very a passion for me. It's the language I think in, is the language I speak, and I'm the most comfortable in English. So now in this era with this new government, we need people know the importance of English. I don't think we need to show the value of English anymore. People know.
Yes.
So we just need to be more creative in how they can learn it and support them. And Toastmasters is a way to achieve that.
To achieve that, yes,
Yes.
for sure. We'll
So,
come there.
This Saturday
So
or the next one.
Okay, I
invite
think
both
that
of
I
you.
think that
Thank
one day
you.
we'll
Yeah.
go together to British Council,
Yes.
and another day
We go to
we'll go to
Toastmasters.
Toastmasters
Yeah,
For
together.
sure.
for sure.
Mrs.
Yeah.
Chandan?
Yeah,
Yes, for
definitely.
sure.
I'm
So now,
intrigued.
ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your attention. It was a pleasure to follow us on DRTS. I was very pleased today. It was a very big honor and pleasure to have on this set two big ladies. And as far as it is, sorry, we are in October. It was an occasion for us to receive two ladies, Mrs. Chongan and Mrs. Make. Thank you very much. An appointment is given to you next week on the same TV. Thank you very much.